Learning Portuguese is hard, and it's going to take weeks, months, or even years to get to a fluid conversational level. But what if I told you there was an easy way to fake it till you make it? Yes, I'm talking about with just a little bit of practice in the right areas, you could be mistaken for a fluent speaker. And I know these hacks work because my own students use them, and I cannot count the number of times they've come to me all proud because they had such a successful interaction with someone in Portuguese, and the person thought they were way more advanced than they actually are, which does wonders for their confidence, so they speak more and then they get better, and it's a whole virtuous cycle and so important when you are learning. So in today's video, I have 5 hacks for you for faking better Portuguese. If you're excited to learn them, give this video a thumbs up and hit subscribe if you want free practical Portuguese lessons with me every week. So hack number 1, you have got to perfect your pronunciation. Now I have several full-length videos on this, so I'm not going to repeat myself. I also have an entire PDF guide with accompanying audio that you can download in the description. I talk you through 7 of the most difficult sounds in Portuguese and how to perfect them. So if you are still struggling with pronunciation and still sound like a foreigner when you speak, then please go and download that guide and watch these other videos. I will link them in the description, because trust me when I say this is the number 1 way to fake it till you make it. Because once your accent is good and you can type something in an online translator, my favorite is DeepL, then you can read it perfectly. In my recent interview with my student Alexia, this is what she talked about ahead of every interaction that she had out in Portugal, whether it was the hairdresser or the post office. She would look it up on DeepL, the things that she wanted to say, and then she would simply say them out loud. Because she'd got so good with her pronunciation, she could really say what you see, right? And do it correctly. And people were always so surprised when she said, actually, she doesn't speak loads of Portuguese, she's just getting started. So this is really something that works to fake it till you make it. Hack number 2, I love this one. It's 1-word wonders. Now, you don't need to know full sentences to be able to respond to somebody in Portuguese, and I'm going to show you how. For example, if somebody says to you, bom fim de semana, have a good weekend, and you're not quite ready to respond in the same way, you could simply use a 1-word wonder and say, igualmente. This means likewise or same to you. So you can see how you don't have to memorize the exact response in a really long sentence. You can just say igualmente. Or if you are asking for somebody's permission to do something, like maybe you want to open the window or you want to take something from a drawer, you could say posso. This means may I. So you don't need to know the whole sentence of how to ask, can I do this thing that I want to do? You can simply say, may I? Posso? I give you 14 of these in my free lesson for beginners, which is your ultimate quick start guide to getting conversational in Portuguese. I'm going to leave the link to register down in the description. You should definitely check that out after this video. Hack number 3 is learning some short reactions. Now, maybe you've got to the level where you can kind of understand what's going on around you when you're hearing things said, but again, you don't quite have all of the vocabulary and knowledge to reply in long sentences. Well, learning some short reactions is going to be really good in this scenario. Now, I do have several full videos on this that again, I will link in the description for you to check out next, but I'll give you some examples. If you want to say that something is cool, you can say que giro. Or if something is a shame, you can say que pena. Or maybe something is sad, you can say que triste. I usually find that reacting is where people struggle for words, so if you can memorize a few of these to use in a bunch of different situations, then this is an excellent way to fake better Portuguese. Hack number 4 is using keywords when you are listening. The biggest mistake people make when they are doing listening practice with any language is trying to understand every single thing that has been said. That is a surefire way to make sure that your brain completely shuts down and you hear nothing at all. So what you should focus on instead is picking out keywords. These are the words that you do understand, and when you piece a few of those together, you can get the gist of the conversation, okay? This is why I always tell my students when we do a listening challenge every week, make sure you have a pen and paper and go through noting down the keywords in order as you hear them, and when you look back at them, you'll probably have the gist of what was going on in what was being said. I do have a whole video on this, so make sure you check that one out next if listening is something that is scary and difficult for you, I promise this keyword strategy is another really good way of faking it till you make it. The final hack is something else to really help your spoken Portuguese, and it's something that my husband swears by. He does this all the time and says it really, really helps. Ahead of any kind of interaction that you're going to do in Portuguese, especially if you feel like your Portuguese might be a little bit rusty, you can find a text, whether that's online or from a book or from a newspaper, and read it out loud to yourself in Portuguese. This is really going to get your head in the game, remind your mouth how to do all of those movements, and even better if you record it and listen back to yourself so you can really hear where you are going wrong and the things that you need to remember in terms of your pronunciation and how things are said in Portuguese. So which one of these are you going to try? Let me know in the comments and I will try and get back to you. I love to hear the comments from this community because you are all so engaged and you really do inspire each other. I'll be back at the same time next week with more tips and tutorials to improve your confidence and conversation skills in Portuguese, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss a thing. Ciao for now.